जय जय सुरनायक जन सुखदायक प्रणतपाल भगवंता गोद्विजहितकारी जय असुरारी सिंधुसुता प्रियकंता पालन सुरधरणी अद्भुत करनी मरम न जानई कोई जो सहज कृपाला दीन दयाला करऊ अनुग्रह सोई करऊ अनुग्रह सोई। जय जय अविनाशी सब घटवासी व्यापक परमानंदा अभिगत गोतीतम चरित पुनीतम माया रहित मुकुंदा जेहि रागी बिरागी अति अनुरागी विगत मोह मुनि वृंदा निशिबासर ध्यावहि गुण गण गावहि जयति सच्चिदानंदा जयति सच्चिदानंदा। जेहि सृष्टि उपाई त्रिविध बनाई संग सहाय न दूजा सो करहु अघारी चिंत हमारी जानिय भगति न पूजा जो भव भय भंजन मुनि मन रंजन गंजन विपति बरूथा मन वच क्रम बानी छाड़ी सयानी सरन सकल सुर जूथा सरन सकल सुर जूथा सारद श्रुति शेषा ऋषय अशेषा जाकहु को नहीं जाना जेहि दीन पियारे वेद पुकारे द्रवहु सुश्री भगवाना भव बारिधि मंदर सब विधि सुंदर गुण मंदिर सुख पुंजा मुनि सिद्ध सकल सुर परम भयातुर नमत नाथ पद कंजा नमत नाथ पद कंजा। जय जय अविनाशी सब घटवासी व्यापक परमानंदा अविगत गोतीतम चरित पुनीतम माया रहित मुकुंदा जेहि लागी बिरागी अति अनुरागी विगत मोह मुनि वृंदा निशिबासर द्यावहि गुण गण गावहि जयति सच्चिदानंदा जयति सच्चिदानंदा।
For how long can we leave ourselves alone? You can hear me? Really, the spiritual project is about emptying the lane for God, isn't it? We've discussed this thousands of times. That the gully is sakri, the lane is narrow. When there is me, there is no God, there is no self, there is no truth. And when there is truth, when there is God, when there is the self, then there cannot be the me. And the me is what? The me is, when the me seems real, then we know that we are in Maya. Maya, where is Maya? So satsang is also a good time to check. There comes a point where we may be imbibing what is being heard at a deeper place in our hearts, and then the mind comes and says that, yes, this is my conclusion out of all that I've heard. And we feel that that understanding is the crux of what really has been shared. But what we must do is just allow yourself to be guided by your heart. Don't resort to any or resort to minimal conceptualization. So simply put, leave yourself alone. There is nobody in the world that is troubling you as much as you are. You may be mistaken that it is your relationships, it is your job. So, this idea of you, this notion of me, is the most troublesome. And the point is not that, not that it is just an emptiness which in itself makes you feel better or makes you feel that there is nothing to worry, there is no anxiety, there is no future, there is no past, nothing to regret. But as much as you may like to deny it because your mind can't handle the fact that some magic happens when you're empty. What is the source of that? And magic is too small a word for it, so we'll find a better word. But what is the source of that grace? It is not a material source. Many of you have had this, most of you would have had this experience, that when you sit quietly by yourself and you've been empty for some time, then you don't want to leave that. You want to stay like that. And anyone comes and bothers you, you say, no, I'm meditating, leave me alone. I'm praying, leave me alone. You don't want the world to interfere there. So it's not like an appendicitis where you remove the painful part of the system, and then that itself feels better. It is that painful me which then is replaced by something far beyond our imagination, far beyond what words can share, much more than any concept can meet. That starts to operate within ourselves. So if you were to investigate what really happens to you, you were to pay attention to yourself in a heartfelt, in an intuitive way, because the mind doesn't want to do this investigation. But you can investigate from a deeper place. When you're unconcerned with stories, when you're unconcerned with time and space, not bothered about anything to do with the apparent individual, that is when you are truly starting to become spiritual. I mean, in that moment. Why do I say that? Because that is when the Atma starts to work on us. What is the work that it does? All that can be called good and all that can be called spiritual is the work of the Atma within. It may not be that your first gift from the Atma is Atma Darshan itself. We may expect that. We may say that if there is such a thing as the Atma, first let it reveal itself. But maybe first it needs to work on us to rid us of our pride, especially our pride of knowledge. Its curriculum we cannot determine. That is why it is the Sadguru and we are the disciple. So spirituality is a journey of becoming the disciple of the Atma within, till we come to the recognition that the one whose presence this Atma is my reality. And whether the recognition comes in the form of that Advaita, the oneness, or in the form of the sense of merging, union, samadhi, the label or the construct that we put on top of it is immaterial. So many times if it is not the Atma Darshan itself, then it could be a presence of a much greater love than we could ever fathom. The sudden gift of just a patience which was never here earlier, the absence of grievances or resentment, a courage to meet life situations no matter what they are, deep faith in what you are learning from within compared to conviction from the mind. Love, courage, patience, all are interrelated. Faith. Because it is very scary somewhere for us to leave ourselves alone. So it gives us the tools to be able to do that as well. But more than any of these words that I can say, what it does within ourselves, within our heart, is indescribable. So empty of this me, we are drawn to the resting place of the heart temple, as I call it. And there, if we have a faithful, surrenderful attitude, then all the spiritual surgery, it begins. It's the most love-filled procedure that any of us can ever encounter. All the selfish bits of ourselves are plucked out and thrown away. And all that is natural to our originality, natural to our original design, which is to live in a deep love of God, in a deep communion with God, that is implanted in us, or that is revealed to us, if you want to look at it that way. So we must never lose faith in the process. Don't lose patience with the project. Because I promise you the gift at the end of it is beyond time and space and anything that you can imagine. So how to put it simply, what everything I'm saying is that our job is to sit in our heart temple, immersed in a quiet love for God. Yeah, I missed your question.
I've been very, 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 very quiet. And I think I want to share that it is very, very, very rich. And these revelations that you speak of, they are really needing quiet.
Yes.
And it came to me very deeply. I had a small accident and I was in pain and bed rest, and I had to be quiet. But of course, I don't know God's grace, but I didn't fill up my time with TV or books or even that phone or anything.
Right.
And then it came such a like an honoring of everything within.
Right.
Because I felt that even though it's there, we don't stop to honor.
Yeah.
And my prayer here today, that as one returns to normal life, that this is not lost.
Yes. Right. So the essence of what is being shared is that we have to sit, quote unquote, sit in our heart temple, immersed in a quiet love for God. Then that, at least conceptually, seems very simple. You see? So why do we say that spirituality is the most difficult project that you will undertake in this life? Because to sit in that heart temple is to sit outside time and space. The time and space, things in time and space, they keep grabbing us because of the narrator, the Maya. So we need something that slingshots us. What's a better word? Slingshot? Slingshots us outside this realm of time and space to at least a millisecond of sitting beyond this realm, quietly by ourselves. So our spiritual tools, our spiritual sadhana, our spiritual devices are meant to transport us from here to there. Because your heart is actually not in this universe. Your heart is not a biochemical place. It's not a phenomenal place. There is a heart like that, that is the physical heart. But that is not the one that we are talking about. The system is completely different. To recognize that all of this is a leela, is maya, that time and space are notional, we must be able to take a step back from it. And the step back is to see originally where we come from. What is our very source? How to get there? What happened? Oh, look. Maya troubles us. Something, something, something. Sometimes even the words of satsang may trouble us. So, but the point is to come to that which is beyond all this trouble. All this is a fading dream. It seems very important today, tomorrow not so important. What is beyond this dream? That is the presence of God, the Atma within, or the kingdom of heaven, as some of us would call it. And where is that? Within ourselves. How to go there? See, you could be Elon Musk and have all the space technology in the world, but you cannot create a device for yourself which you can sit in and transport you out of time and space. For that you need to undertake an inner journey. And to undertake this inner journey, we have to follow the spiritual guidance of the master, the teacher in our lives, in whichever form that it has appeared. In whoever is embodying that and playing that role in your life, you must follow that advice, because their words are not mere words, although they may seem like it. They may seem like they are words that help us become just better people, more loving, more kind, more devotional. But their words, because they come from beyond, have the power, if followed with devotion, they have the power to lead us beyond. So whatever sadhana, spiritual practice appeals to you, resonates with your heart, follow that patiently, and soon you will find yourself, even for a millisecond, but you know, it's not like a worldly experience where a millisecond just comes and goes, so you may not even notice it, register it, or remember that it happened and wonder if it happened, but you know. You cannot forget. And that then makes us open-minded to the possibility of actually building our house over there. Make that your constant home. So live underwater like that. Sometimes because of Maya, something seems wrong. You don't come out, send a periscope out. Just see what is happening. Don't get involved. Remember that everything God is taking care of, then bring the periscope down. That should be our extent of involvement with Maya. Stay within. Don't interrupt His holy work that is happening in your heart. Because He is the most humble. He has waited for you for lifetimes. And even now, to enter your house, if you keep giving yourself preference, He will make the room for you. Say, okay, more me, okay, come. More me, you want more me, okay. He's not going to push his way through. You have to step back and allow Him to enter your heart. So that is the essence of leaving yourself alone. So, yes. Many times what happens is when we are beginners on the spiritual journey, God wants to give us some encouragement that there is something beautiful in this path. It's so difficult otherwise. So we may have many beautiful spiritual experiences. But then what happens is that He's given us the gift before the job is done, or an insight into the gift before the job is done. So now we need to patiently do the work, and then we start to get frustrated with the spiritual path. We must not do that. Because really there is no other path for us to follow. We may say, okay, spirituality is not for me. Then what is it? Death? Death is for you? You feel like you will have immortal life if you create enough material wealth for yourselves and people are building statues in your name. That statue you will live in. So once you are exposed to the truth of the possibility of living in God's light, in the holy presence forever, then you recognize that there is no greater gift to give yourself in this world. And unlike things of the world, you cannot exchange this with anything else. You cannot say, oh, I have a plot of land, can you exchange that for an apartment? I'll say that I have an aeroplane, can I then, get a railway compartment, or silly examples, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you haven't worked on yourself spiritually, then whatever material accomplishments you may have, they will not give you that spiritual outcome. That's why you just have to laugh at these things where somebody will tell you that, oh, for this much money, then you will get special puja, for this much money, you will get special this thing. We want to do that barter system, but it doesn't work with God. You can't bribe your way through to the heart temple. You may be able to do it in worldly temple. There is no shortcut. You have to surrender yourself. You have to submit to His grace. And the more time you waste in just me, but tantrum, but this, but that, you see, the more time you're just wasting. Falling and getting up is part of this spiritual journey. We will fall hundreds of times. We have to get up hundreds of times. We can't just say, oh, this is not for me. Then what is for you? So one child's parent actually said that, yeah, it's fine, it's not for me. I will handle it after my death, and don't worry about all that. I'm not worried. I will handle it, whatever comes. What is the mentality at play there? The mentality at play there is that I don't want to let go of my pride in this life, and we'll see. Because our ego becomes that strong that we feel that why should I live a life of surrender or submission to God? Then for those I would say that at least first find out who you are. Before you say, I am not going to do this, I am not going to bend, I don't want to devote my life to God, then who is it that you are? What is your reality? And what remains after that inquiry, what remains after that recognition, what is left of you that is left unsurrendered now? But to say that I don't want to find out who I am, and I'm not going to bow down to God in any way, this sounds like a doorway to trouble. And what can we do? We can just pray for them, pray for grace. And how am I so familiar with this? Because I was one of those people for a large part of my life. I was one of those people. No? But it came because I never really looked at what is inside. I was taking only the outside to be reality. The more time you spend on the inside, the more you will start to love the truth, you will start to love God. The more time you spend on the outside, the more worldly things will seem compelling and attractive. All of us must find one teacher. Why? At least one teacher, because you must meet somebody in your life who you give more odds to being correct than yourself. Otherwise, we met thousands and thousands of people in our lives, we have been more correct than them. Yes? That's the human condition. Yes. We have met thousands and thousands, and we have been more correct than all of them. So when you meet a teacher, then at least you hand over that and say, okay, at least in front of you, you are, the odds of you being more right are more than the odds of me being right. At least that itself is a great breakthrough in our life. Can you see the absurdity of it? Everyone feels that they are more correct than everyone else. So if we start to look at things like that, then we see that pride actually is very apparent in all our lives. So meet someone, at least meet a book, meet something where you can feel that, okay, this one is guiding me in a way that I don't know the path to, but they are correct, and I could, there are more chances of me being wrong than them being wrong. You see, maybe that itself is a good start. Let's leave complete surrender and all to later, devotion and all to later.
Exactly at this point, you do recognize that there is somebody who you definitely know. So sometimes such a great fear comes because inside your heart you know that that one is saying the truth, but I don't know, it feels very frightening for her.
So that which is being threatened is the one that needs to go.
I see that. I mean, I see that, but it's fighting back, you know. I mean, and it's like creating all kinds of depression and kind of like run away, and all this hysteria suddenly comes and it's swinging, and like in Satsang, it's less and less, you know, like we stabilize there, and that's just not.
Everything will come. Everything that Maya can throw at you. So those stories weren't told to us just for fun. And the stories of the the Maya traps weren't told to us just for fun. So everything will come. The most beautiful relationship will show up. The most difficult life situation will show up. Things which were absolutely fine will start to be in trouble and need your attention and time. Things will just say, leave God till tomorrow, or leave your quest for truth till tomorrow. It can wait. So everything possible, medical conditions, emotional problems, mental conditions, everything will show up. So that is your Menika. Whatever is showing up to distract you away from God's sadhana is the distraction. And what is the message in all of that distraction? God can wait, there is time. It's okay. This is urgent. This is important. God is timeless. So He can wait. If you did not have the sense that you had time, 99% of the distractions would not work. That's why the Kabirji's statement is very, very important, which we have distorted and made it about homework and things. But see what I'm saying? If you did not have the sense you had time, this was it, then what will you focus on right now?
I see that I don't have time. I mean, also I see
No, now, this, you don't have another extra moment. This is it. This is the one moment you have.
I would focus on the right thing.
Exactly. But because we feel that there's time, and the world is telling us there's time, all our families tell us there's time, most of our families tell us there's time. I have been at this about 27 years. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of spirituality. I've been, of course, a very bad student, very lazy and very bad. But in 27 years, if I'm just scratching the surface of spirituality, how much time do we need? What is the right time to start? Nobody says the most important thing in life is to find God. You can make money later. Nobody says that. Is it? So, they say, but God is there, that is for your later years, now you make money. And in that way, what we are actually saying is that real priority is material security, safety. Secondary is everything else. Why not find God first and then see what happens? Because somewhere we feel that in Maya is the great forgetting. So how are we able to compare worldly things with God and exchange worldly things for God? It cannot happen without the great forgetting happening. If you did not forget who God really is, then we could not say tomorrow. So the postponing that happens in Maya is accompanied by just a forgetting. If you could be with God really, God, what would you exchange that for right now? Is it? But in the forgetting it is just, God is reduced to some notion, and we feel that, oh, now you need to work on this, do this instead. You see? Yeah. You don't feel like He is the light of the universe. He is the supreme intelligence, the alpha and the omega of everything. One second, we'll go to Majid first. Sorry, I forgot that. Yes. Still there?
I would say that question asked to me is still a little relevant.
Okay.
So I could. You've been talking about baking your cake and making sure you eat it too.
Yes.
And maybe because prayer in the past few days has really like been taking on a whole nother wind. It seems as though the cake making, there's an extraordinary like a taste to it.
Yeah.
And I see the stickiness of that and how I could form this habit of prayer, not necessarily seeking God, but seeking this flavor.
Nice.
And I think I need to sit with it more and just be watchful. But I noticed that pitfall in there, seeming pitfall.
Very good. There are two aspects to what you said. Firstly, yes, that the tastes are given to us by His grace. If they are extraordinary tastes, then when we get a sense that these are not worldly. There's no worldly reason for us to get those tastes. You see, so they're coming by His grace, and sometimes these gifts do happen, but we are going to have many phases where the tastes are not there. You see, so we must not get attached to any of the tastes. It's very, very important, because if our spirituality becomes just about tasting that, then frustration is coming soon. Anger, tantrum, frustration, everything is coming soon, because God does not keep it constant. You see, it's always in terms of, so that we don't become proud. It doesn't become like something that we are entitled to. There's always the up and down in that process of tasting. That is the first thing. So don't get attached. Enjoy the taste. It's for you to enjoy. But attachment means that if you have a period of prayer, have a period of inquiring without that taste, then you start to question yourself, your sadhana, your even God. You see, even everything starts to get questioned. That is attachment. So that is why a good attitude to have is just like a beggar sitting in the temple. Like some days you get food, some days you don't get food. It's not an entitlement. It's just that we are humbly sitting there and asking. And when He gives us a gift, then humbly we accept it and we are grateful. But we are not entitled then that tomorrow also, okay, tomorrow. It's not, that is not the approach we are meant to take. That is the first aspect. Second aspect is that the baking and the eating, yes, it can be, many times it can be like a period of applying the spiritual tool that we are guided to use, and then sitting in the heart temple quietly. But many times we are cooking, we are eating, we are cooking, we are eating. So it's not always step by step in that way. You could be just cooking. You see? So difficult then to come out of that. We just have to see how it is playing in our heart, you see. So just have to, you can see I'm struggling. So I called Ram, but he did a Krishna on me. He doesn't want to leave. But I hope the point was not lost, in the sense that sometimes it seems like we are cooking, and we get like a moment or two of just, and sometimes just one remembrance of his name just wipe us out for long periods of time. You see? And it's not something that, like, we must be true to ourselves, because it is all about you and him. You see? That it is not a badge of honor to say, oh, I just have to do this and then I'm quiet for so long. Just there's no awards for any of this, there's no prizes. You see? And pride can come really quickly, so you have to be really careful. But just whatever it takes to give you the escape velocity, to escape Maya, and to sit outside just in his holy presence, loving him, looking at him, perceptibly or imperceptibly. My favorite way is to just be with him imperceptibly to the senses, but perceptibly to the heart. But if it happens in your case that you come to a place where you're having some beautiful darshan, beautiful vision, that's also fine as well. But not to get attached to any of that. So in your hands, you have some very potent devices. They're very, very potent devices. But because they are very prevalent or easily accessible in today's world, it can seem like, okay, what's the big deal in them? You see? So, like your prayer, your mantra, the stotrams that you're using, many of you are using, and the inquiry, all of these are devices which are so potent, they have so much grace operating in them, that if you approach them with a little bit of devotion, they have the potential to bring you to that holy place of his presence. But the approaching them with humility, with devotion, with faith, with patience, that is what we need to build on. So, whatever your path is, whatever way you resonate with, know that these are ancient ways. Both of these methods are from the Upanishads, from the original sources of spirituality, given to us by God's hand itself. So don't devalue the tools that you have, the spiritual sadhana that you have. Treat it with reverence and devotion, and you see the gifts it gives you. The greater sadhana is when you are struggling. The greater sadhana is when you are struggling and you persist. The easier sadhana is when he is just gracing you with the gift. You just have to remember him. The greater is when you sit down to pray, sit down to inquire, and it's doom. And still you say, no, God. No, who am I? Who is watching these thoughts? And again, distraction. But what about this thing? And all this money will go, and your children are not well. Something. And then, so this beautiful term from these sages, Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint John of the Cross, that every time you apply the act of your will, what seems like your will, to love God, it is a great step that you are taking towards Him. So then distracted prayer is very helpful, because in that distracted prayer you have to remember Him 100 times against all the compulsion of Maya. Whereas prayer which is coming easy by God's grace is all credit to Him. So don't look down upon the time where your prayer is distracted, where it seems like your inquiry is not fruitful. Those times are also very important. And our attitude should become, like I've been listening to the groaning and moaning when I say 2 to 4 hours at least every day. But our attitude should become like, where can I take out that extra 5 minutes to just be with God? Where can I just be? Then you feel grateful when life gives you those opportunities. Somebody calls you and says, Like at work, I'm called Tapan, so when they call me and say, "Oh, Tapan, can we cancel our meeting today? We have some other important work to do, so we won't have our review today. Can we cancel?" And I'm outwardly, I have to be a bit like, "Yeah, okay, we can cancel, but let's make sure we meet next week." But inwardly, I'm celebrating. I'm just like, "Wow, 2 hours I can just pray." Then just so grateful for that time, and you see that. If your intention is there, He is always provided the time. So our talk of busyness is mostly made up. Like at least in my case, it's never been authentic. It's mostly that if our intention is to be with God, He creates the path. He finds a way. Once you start to follow His fragrance, then it will not feel like a job to be in your sadhana. And what better thing can you do with your life? And the fragrance can be in the form of just that inward pull that's unexplainable. You just something just pulls you, and you can't say, "Oh, it's like joy." You can't say it's like love. You can't say, you can say it's like love, but it's not a tasting love. It's just something very naturally pulls you in. And there's nothing better you would do with that time. And you can't imagine exchanging that for anything that the world could offer. You all have this sense. No? You had a question, I guess. Sorry.
This thing you're talking about time, no? That it's only when you think you have it that you allow distractions to take over.
You have time. It's only when you think you have time.
I notice that.
Okay, so let me, sorry, stop the question. So, what is the most important thing for you in your life?
God, but I
Okay,
want to.
so I know but will be there, let's remove that. Let's stay with it is God. Now, suppose you had only this next 1 minute. What would you want to do? See, be with Him, no, if you could. But Maya creates this idea that we have time and this can wait. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
How to bring into practice, because I do waste time.
Yeah.
I think few moments in Maya, something here and there, then come back to being empty.
Are you doing 2 to 4 hours?
Yeah.
It'll grow from there.
It's okay. It will grow.
It will grow. I feel 2 hours is needed. Out of 24, at least 2 is needed to break the spell, to defrost ourselves, to just allow ourselves to be centered, to come to His light. And just breaks the pattern of constantly inhaling Maya. So that 2 hours of defrosting de-addiction from Maya is helpful, at least. Yes. And I could be saying, because I am so foolish, I need at least 2 to 4 hours. Maybe that is why, maybe all of you need only 10 minutes or something.
It's not exactly a question, but there are periods of time, like for example, I'm here now, and in other times in life, if you put that you have a lot of time for this, and it is a clearly first priority, But
Say the
and
last
it is
part.
clearly like first
First
priority, like,
priority, yes.
but still then there is no capacity like to stay in sadhana like all the time I have, and there is like guilt and like I don't know, like still like feeling of very much not being able to use it a good way. Like I have it often. I feel like someone complains like, oh, I have very little time. When I have little time, I use it very well. Like,
Yes.
okay, I have this,
Yes,
make this
exactly.
2 hours, I will make 2
Exactly.
hours. But when you have like all the day, like it's I don't waste on like social media or any like that. But yeah, there is like there is feeling of there is this privilege that okay, like it's given for you a lot of space for that, but how to use it.
Yes. So, same question that I asked Shiv was, but 2 hours is happening at least? 2 to 4? It'll be all right. Don't get into guilt, because guilt is another way to keep you away from God. Like, what is guilt? Like, I can't be with God. I have not done my sadhana. Then guilt, oh, I should have done my sadhana. He keeps saying, do at least 2 hours, look at you, all of that, which is taking more time than away from God. So, really, the one spiritual habit which is very good is what Hanuman Poddar said. And I'll translate also. He said, Gir gaye ho to ut jao. Like, don't mope on the fact that you've fallen. If you've fallen, get up. If you've fallen, get up. And in this path, we will fall hundreds, thousands, millions of times. There will be days where will be complete write-offs. And guilt will want to come and catch us and say, oh, see now, you see, you're neglecting God, all of that. But start that moment. You just have to start that moment instead of falling into any despair, despondency, guilt. All of these are the two punch of the 1-2 punch combination.
Yeah, because it's sometimes like kind of fear that it's I see a lot of gifts, receiving a lot of gifts, and like what is asked from me, like
Don't worry, I feel you're doing fine. I feel like if we are able to do that 2 to 4 hours, we'll be fine. And next year that number will go up. Mine. Is it turned the right way? Yeah. Saurabh.
Sometime back, when I was sitting in silence, suddenly this kind of something, I got this perception that the me that I am trying to dissolve or transcend or break down is also just an experience.
Yes.
It's not something very solid that I have to fear or take as a challenge.
Yeah.
Of course, this body is not something imaginary. The body part is there. It'll be there until
Depends
death.
on what you mean by
Yeah.
imaginary, but okay.
It is not illusory. Until death, it will be there. But the rest of me, my ideas, opinions, perceptions, they're
Could
all
we be
just
having
like.
this conversation in a dream?
Pardon?
Suppose that we are having this conversation in a dream, it's possible?
No.
Like, we could not be having this conversation in a dream.
About the body, you mean? No.
Yeah, just this, whatever is unfolded in the last 3 minutes. Suppose you could wake up the next moment and say, okay, that was a strange dream I had.
Possible.
Possible. So, Is there any way you can conclusively say this is not one of those dreams?
No.
So therefore the density, the seeming tangibility of the body also is imaginary.
But at least other than the body, my thoughts, ideas, perceptions, desires, everything, now they suddenly appear as if that's also like another experience. It could be. I could look at it that way,
Yeah.
like an experience. Would that be all right, Father?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sensations appearing on the screen of consciousness, appearing and going. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Don't have to go anywhere. Really, you don't even have to do anything. Just because we have lost touch with our naturalness, it seems like we need methods. But just naturally sitting where you are, lying down where you are, standing where you are, you can stay with Him. Nothing on the outside can really pull you out. No thought really has any power. All these are power that we have given to it. Isn't it? Without that is nothing. Like he's saying, just sensations floating. Nothing to fix, nowhere to go. And the beauty is that in the moments where it doesn't feel natural, use your sadhana. Sadhana itself is so beautiful. Like he's saying that even practicing the prayer, you get so much sweetness. I mean, sometimes the problems are unfathomable. Yajnavalkya said, ask yourself who you are, who am I? I was given originally from whatever little research we've done, the first mention is one of the Upanishads where Yajnavalkya said. And the same Yajnavalkya is telling the story of the Ramcharitmanas to sage Bhardwaj. So these are ancient tools which we have access to, and because they seem to be so accessible now because of YouTube and internet, you should not feel like they are not potent or they are not valuable. So be careful of the trick of the mind which tells you, oh, no, you're going to sit in inquiry now. Who's going to sit and pray? I have things to do. I'm Alexander the Great. I have continents to conquer. If you sit in Bangalore traffic half an hour, you realize that if you are one that was not there, nobody will notice or remember or care. There are so many of us around. So now you can use that half an hour to pray. Yes? Anup? Oh, good. But making eye contact. It's not easy. I know that Maya doesn't make. It's actually easy, but in Maya it seems very difficult. Very difficult. I'm not discounting that for any of you at all.
It's not about being the Alexander the Great, but it's about leading your daily chores.
Just survival. दाल रोटी का सवाल है.
दाल रोटी का सवाल है वही. Yeah, it's
But is that factual or is that fear tactics from the mind? Like, are you really saying that if you came to satsang once or twice a week, you will not have food food or shelter?
yeah, it's about the mind. Yeah, but the mind saps so much of energy that then you don't feel like taking the step to the satsang.
And who says that?
Mind.
The mind. The mind is the expert at chakra view.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes this chakra view and then says, see, now you're stuck, now you. And then what will happen? It doesn't want to ask. It will keep asking, so what next, what next? But it never asks, and then? Suppose you had go down of dal roti. All that is sorted out. Forever, for you, family, next 3 generations, all sorted out. Then?
difficult to imagine.
Let's suppose.
Difficult to imagine, sorry.
This is both Jesus and Nanak ji said similar things about this topic. So Jesus said, a bird flies every day looking for food, has got children in its nest. Of course, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but who provides food for those birds? Do they go to sleep anxious, saying, tomorrow's food, where will it come from? And if your Father is kind enough to give all of these creatures everything that they need, then do you feel like He does not love you at least that much as a bird to take care of you? And same thing, Nanak ji said that a fish just keeps swimming in the water, food comes, sustenance comes, whatever it needs comes. It is not sitting anxious, saying, where is my next meal coming from? Isn't it? So, this worldly worry is a very age-old tactic to keep us away from our true intent in life. But it's because, and that's what we've been talking about, somewhere it's always because we feel we have time. God can wait tomorrow. Even the mind gives us a plan. So what is the plan the mind gives? Now you work, next how many years?
No, what happened to me, Guruji, was like towards the end of last week, it was like, let's go through this suffering of life.
Let's just go through it.
Just go through it. I mean, the other side, I don't even know. It went like that.
That it's a risk either way. In this way you have to suffer, the other way you don't. Do you actually know if this man is telling you the truth? The
No.
mind can ask you that question.
No, it was not about that, Guruji, but you don't know. I mean, yeah, that it's not about the trust, but whether you will be able to do that.
Yeah.
What
So
is the ask?
let me repeat, this part is very important for all of you in that conundrum. Your intention to be with him is all that you can do. You see? If there is any judgment or whatever, you see, then you cannot be judged on whether his grace happened or not. The only thing is whether you had the intention to be with him. Huh? So what has to come true for you is his end of the bargain. What you have to fulfill is your end of the bargain. So unlike in worldly things, you see, you say, okay, I put in that effort and this outcome comes, then you know you've been successful. In spirituality, that moment where you turn towards him, you've been successful. That moment that you turn towards him again, you've been successful. It is not about what gift of grace, what gifts through grace you get. And there's never a time where you can feel like you turn towards him and you felt like, what a waste of time. I should have worked. That just doesn't happen, because even if you feel like we don't get a gift in return or get some outcome in return, some experience, some fireworks, some sweetness, some nothing, it just feels blank. Even that blank is a great gift because it changes our whole trajectory, at least for that day. You see? So we never regret that turning towards Him.
But that turning itself takes effort.
Exactly.
That effort, some days, it's very difficult.
That's okay. So when you're not, I'm only asking for concern. I'm not at all like putting you in the spotlight or anything like that. It's just that if there are like days and weeks where you're not able to come to satsang, are you able to do some sadhana by yourself?
No.
That's my worry. No? That at least sometimes what may happen, it may be my fault, that if I say 2 to 4 hours and it feels like anything less than that is pointless. But that's not what I'm saying at all. You see? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that even one moment is good, and the next moment is even better, and the next moment is even better. So if you were to set a goal for ourselves and to be free from Maya, I feel 2 to 4 hours is a good time to start with. But don't make the mind use that desire to inspire or to motivate to turn it around and say, okay, now if you can't do 2 hours, then it's no point anyway. Don't get into that trap. You see? As I was saying that, if you can't exercise for 2 hours, then don't even do 15 minutes, no point. You see? It's not like that. So now, if it's been like that, blank for some time, then what you start with is for the next week, do 15 minutes every day. Then the week after that, do 20 minutes, 25, build up. It's like gymming, no? You don't start full. Because if you trouble yourself too much on the first day trying to do 2 hours, then it'll seem like you don't want to enter the gymnasium again.
Actually, it was quite easy since morning because I've taken leave for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Since morning, I've been like, I think many hours, 3 to 4 hours. It was very easy. Entirely opposite to what it was past week. So I'm not able to understand, Guruji. I mean, what's happening?
It's okay. Now you have these 2 weeks, use them as much as you can to deepen in this way, because when you get back into the Mahabharata, then...
That is what I'm scared of, Guruji. I mean, I'll certainly go other way around.
So now in these 2 weeks, like cling to Krishna's feet. You see, so then when you go back into the Mahabharata, at least you're on the right side. It's okay, these challenges, they come. The point is not to cry over spilled milk. That time that is gone is gone. Now, but don't get into this despondency that, will I even get it? That can happen. No? That, if I'm not really sure that I will get it anyway, who can be sure they will get it? I may wake up tomorrow completely deluded and identified and say all this is a waste of time, I'm going back to Maya only. Like, we cannot guarantee, no? So, this in the same way we cannot guarantee. There's nobody who can say that I will get it also. I mean, what is the it?
It's also not about getting it. It's about not able to put that effort to go that side. I'm not even looking at the final point, but just to get onto that path itself feels so much effort, and which I'm not able to do it. So I'm not that greedy about that final destination. I'm not at all thinking about that, but just to switch the path from this mess to that, because I know if I'm able to switch, it's the best thing that can have happened, but that energy I'm not able to put.
So, you know what they say, no? And it really works like that. They say that just if you're using yoga mat, then keep it right next to your bed, and your job is just to get on the mat. Then the mat will do the job for you. So maybe what you have to do is say that I will say God's name only once. So start with only once. And that once may give the energy for the second time. And the second time may give the energy for the third time. If it doesn't give, don't do it. Okay? Make a deal with me like this. For once you have the energy to say it once, that doesn't take much. Okay? So say one round of ADS. And if that doesn't give you the energy for the next round, then stop there only. But if it gives you, don't stop. See? Prayer teaches you how to pray. Prayer gives the energy, the motivation to pray as well. But it tries to stop you from getting on the mat. Just get on the mat. These are beautiful conversations. I feel like these are so full of integrity and day-to-day things that we all face. I'm very happy to look at these. Yeah. So if I don't hear a question like this, then I'm very suspicious actually. Because everybody could not be doing so well in their sadhana. And just empty. These things do come. But on your commute, on a break, on your lunchtime at work, just once say God's name. If it doesn't give you the energy for next, then don't do more. It's okay. Yeah? Time? Yes, yes. Okay, some hands are up. Let's go to Madalena. Karunamai. Yes.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear.
Thank you so much for today and for everything else. You started the satsang today with a very good pointer that nobody's doing anything to you, and you are your
In a
you are
way,
your best enemy.
you are doing more than anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that felt very applicable to me.
Wonderful.
Um, and It feels sometimes that I'm indulging in some kind of suffering.
Yes.
Um,
All of us. Suffering is an indulgence we do to ourselves.
yeah. And at some point in time, when I put my hand up, I wanted to look with you. But somehow this request, I think, was heard in your heart because then you stopped. Uh, and it was very um, powerful just to sit in silence and um, maybe recognize this
Very good. Very good.
harmony that it is.
Yes.
Um,
So all the methods of satsang, all the methods of spiritual sadhana are just that slingshot, that fuel for escaping the pull, the gravitational pull of Maya. Every word that is
yeah,
said in satsang is also so that we can find ourselves in that quiet place.
Yeah. I see there is still a tendency here to get out, obviously, from here, and also to strategize like what's best for freedom. Should I go to India? Should I stay here? Um, and I feel to ask for grace to
Yes, so the answer,
be guided, to be guided, I guess, and listen to this guidance, and have the capacity to discern and
if you have the intention to remain in that silence that we spoke about, then grace will keep bringing you to exactly the right spots you need to be. If you need to move at all, you don't have to worry about the outer. Just sit in your heart temple, immersed in the quiet love for God.
yeah. This movement, or this, yeah, it is a movement, um, comes from ignorance and from arrogance and lack of recognition, I guess, of the grace that is already being showered upon me.
Yes.
Um,
So just be careful of the checker guy
yeah,
who will keep you involved in the diagnosis rather than sitting quietly in the heart temple with love for God.
yeah.
He will say, come out of the temple for a minute, I have something important to tell you. You know what your problem is? No, your only problem is that it pulled you out of the heart temple, that's all. It seems to offer us
It's true.
insight along the path, and if it's not coming from the heart, we can just let it go. If your heart is guiding you, then for heart guidance, you don't have to leave your heart temple. You will hear it there, right there. If you need to leave your heart temple for something, then it is not for your good. It is not helping you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's simple like that. So let your Atma itself guide you. Your Holy Spirit is guiding you in your heart. You don't need a second opinion with this doctor is concerned. You see, the one in your heart. You don't need to get a second opinion from the checker guy.
uh, yeah. And can I expose something more?
Yes.
There is this desire from the spiritual seeker to get more, I guess, and um, to have more favorable conditions for enlightenment. And
Favorable means more difficulties.
sorry, say that again.
Favorable for enlightenment usually means more difficulty in outer life.
Yeah,
Is that what you're praying for?
Um, I think there is a niche for that.
Really? Then that is a very holy prayer, like no? Ma Kunti in the Mahabharata. She made the prayer saying that I only turn to you, God, when I suffer, or I turn to you more when I suffer. So please give me more suffering. So
Because when Anna was sick and we didn't have a house and I was not complaining about, oh, I have to be more next to the master, or I have to be in this place, because I barely had time to go to the toilet, you know. So now the children are in Romania, so I have a bit of time to rest and to think.
I see what you mean. I see, I see. So when are they back?
Soon, this Saturday.
So remember that that was an answered prayer.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and um, I appreciate what you share, and also being able mm, to to share with you in this way.
Very welcome, very welcome.
Thank you, and a big thank you to the Sangha.
Thank you, thank you. Very good. Let's go to Aniko.
Thank you, Ananta-ji. I would like to share about my brother. He's struggling this mind world, this Maya world. He's struggling it a lot now, and more. He cannot. He don't know. He never meet even for 1 minute with God. He doesn't know the truth, and he reject everything. Whatever I would like to tell him about it, and I don't know how to help him. But it's not. It is really painful to see how he is struggling, and I just would like if you could please pray for him. Thank you so much, Anantaji. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you, love you, love you.
Love you, love you. Thank you. Let's go to Helena. Hello.
Hello, Ananta-ji.
Hello.
I'll make you full screen. All right. I just, can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, very well. Very well.
Okay, good. I just raised my hand because I promised that to myself this morning because there was so much burning going on. So I thought I just have to reach out for a bit. Yeah, because maybe sometimes I stay away or I follow satsangs but not raise my hand because I don't. It's all mind stuff.
Yes.
And yes.
How is your spiritual life? How has it been for the last few weeks?
Yes, there has been a shift. When you talk about there's been a shift in seeing, like more experientially to I'm not quite sure how to describe. It just feels like it's more easy to it's more easy to find God or be at to zoom out. It's more like that.
Very good.
And I'm very grateful for that as well. But there's also a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see it's all this person, and still I'm sometimes not able to. It takes a lot of effort to go and sit with it.
Yes. Yeah.
But I do it. I might walk some rounds first, but I do it. I sit.
What
But
are the tools that you're using to, when your mind is attacking in this way, then are you using the inquiry? Are you using remaining empty? Are you using the prayer? What are the tools you're using?
all of that.
Oh,
I use all of that, depending on
yeah.
whatever feels right at the moment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Then that's all we can do. That's all we can do. Very good. So have the faith, have the trust that he sees you. He sees what you're going through, and every attempt that you make to turn towards him, he sees that. He knows that. It's all good.
Yes, I sense that too. I do feel him more close and like that.
Very good. You're in my heart. I pray for you. I send you all my
Thank you.
blessings, all my love, all my love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
To remember that he knows everything and he loves me very deeply, and gives us the strength to go through these hard times, because we trust that in spite of his knowing, in spite of his deep love for us, if we have to go through these times, then that in his will must be something for us to learn from, to grow from, to deepen our relationship with him out of this.
Yes, I can see that as well.
Very good.
That it's needed. It's needed because, like you said, this satsang, because it's so painful. It's just a way of I need to go and sit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not possible. It's not.
I'm very touched by your answers today. I'm very, very happy. Very good. Very good. Very good. Bless
Thank
you.
you.
Bless you so much.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah. Love you. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Thank you so much for being there always. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Samia. Hello. There you are. Can't hear you, my dear.
And now?
Little bit. It's not so clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
No?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, thank you. I don't know, Father. I just cannot find any problem, anything. Actually, I'm just so blessed with everything in my life, and I don't thank for these enough. Um, I don't know why. Father, is it okay to throw a tantrum like this as I did? Because I do it so frequently, and I don't know, like at those moments it came so real, and I feel like I need to express it because I need to just get rid of it. I don't know why it is. And then I'm free from this and I don't feel like it is me. So I don't I don't suffer that I did this. Maybe I don't repent that I did this even, because I don't feel like it's me. I feel like I just need to scream, and I scream and I release from this. So please, you tell me if I need to repent, because it's not, I don't know. I don't want to speak even in this way to anyone. And I don't want to be slapped by God with the result of it at the same time. So I want to hear from you about this.
Thank you. Thank you, my child. Thank you. That's a very good question. So I sense that many times when those things happen with you, I don't sense that there's a sense of agency, there's a sense of control that you have over that, what is playing out in that moment. It is just like some trauma release or something just needs to get out, be vomited out, you see. So, but truly only you can judge that for yourself. And if there is nothing, it's just like a vomit which is coming out, you can't really try and stop it, it doesn't help, it has to come out.
Wanted to learn it. It is okay. Sorry, because I don't.
Yes, my child, that's fine. So, but if you feel that even the slightest control that you can have, especially when it comes to the topic of God, then if you try to control and it doesn't seem to have any impact, then it's okay, just vomit it out. But if there is agency, even the tiniest agency there to uh, be fully respectful always towards God, then just keep using that even when times are very difficult. So simply what I'm saying is that if there's nothing you can do, then there's nothing you can do. Then there's nothing that you need to worry about. But if there's something you can do, then try your best to do that something. And then if it doesn't help, then there's nothing that you can worry about. You see? So just you have to keep checking for yourself like that, and then God will keep giving you more and more strength, you see, to not get into that vomiting type phase over and over. Hopefully, by God's grace, may it just be a release where once all this stuff comes out, may it leave so much space for His love and His light, and may it be that way. But I hope you're getting a sense of what I'm saying, that may it be that really always it just feels like it is just something that is playing out through me and it is getting released in this process. That's all that it should ever be. It should never be anything other than that.
I don't see or feel like it's towards God, but it's playing towards generally towards Guruji and my pet. And even though I know that it is my pet and I belong to him, one satsang I just heard from him that he was saying that Maya can lead us really into, he can separate you from your family and he can separate you from your very normal human conditions, he was saying. And it just touched me a lot because it was what happened on my case. So actually I was projecting it onto Guruji. And yeah, maybe I just can pray now to be healed from all this, even from their memories. I feel like I'm just so blessed recently about life. But yeah, I don't know what it is, as you said, maybe just releasing, but the memories of it. Yeah.
Bless you so much.
I'm customer care.
Okay.
I'm finished, Father. Love you.
Okay, let's go to Muni.
Thank you, Father. Thank you. I don't exactly know what to say. I just, I guess yeah, I want to ask for your help. Yeah. Even though you're giving it all the time, like especially the satsang. And
You feel like you get stuck somewhere, or what is the help?
to be honest, right now, I don't know. I feel to say like new work started, and I'm not exactly sure if it's this distraction or not.
Right.
Because all the time, like when I want to listen to it's like it's during the satsang. But I don't know. That's not the most important thing.
Just as long as your intention is to be with God, don't have to worry about the outer circumstances. They will sort themselves out.
Yeah.
Show Him that you are longing for Him in every work break, in every commute, in every opportunity. Use that as an opportunity to be with Him, to love Him, to be with Him in just quiet, empty or prayerful time. And sometimes it does test our patience, it tests our courage, it tests our resolve to be with Him. Life always gives us situations where we wish we didn't have them, but we just have to keep turning towards Him as much as we can. And in patience, in devotion, He sets everything right. As long as you can say with hand on your heart that in spite of these situations, whatever opportunities that he gives you to be with him, you use them, then there's nothing to worry about.
I have to be honest that there's nothing else in life to be with him and in satsang like that. And this is hard for me to admit this, but I've been noticing, maybe it was there now recently, but I'm noticing complacency. Like very like maybe watching TV and trying to escape escape. Yeah, this is like yeah, I have to admit this.
So just follow the 2 to 4 hour rule. You can
Yeah.
watch TV out. It's fine. Sometimes just simple is all right.
Mhm. Thank you, Father.
Okay, my love. Love you.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Shivoham. Long time. I don't hear you, my dear. Don't hear you. No audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my love.
Hello. It was
I know that there was a job that came in the way of you being live in satsang, but you've been listening, I know this. So
yes,
it's good to see you.
and yes, this is yeah. I wanted to come today because I felt that it was so long since we talked, and so I wanted to check with you. And I have been working a lot, and I've been doing some art stuff, and so yeah, I just wanted to
Yes.
yeah to some pride and some many stuff has come, but yeah, somehow yeah, prayers keep helping me, and I'm so glad that I'm here today, and I'm listening again, and I'm here sitting again with you. And yes, I just wanted to yeah to be here and to and to yeah to check with you and to say okay
Very good.
because somehow I've been feeling also like this strong pull to life, to enjoy, to let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm so glad to be here
Very,
now.
very good.
Yes, that God is keep calling but yeah, I just wanted to to say yes, I have been in the edge of saying okay, I'm going. Bye bye, Father. I'm going.
Yes.
I'm so happy doing this and doing that, and I just wanted to how you say to expose this and
Yeah. So suppose that you said bye bye.
yeah.
That Maya is compelling, that everything is nice, art is beautiful, all the beauty of Italy is available to you to enjoy. So, and then what happened after that?
Yeah, I would need to be in satsang at some point because it's so painful somehow. It's so yeah.
So, very good that you see that, because no matter how beautiful the outer world seems, if we lose touch with the inner being,
Yeah,
the
and
inner
there,
presence, um, then it starts to become a world of suffering very fast. And then we feel trapped. You see, the mind will even tell you that nonsense things like many children go through this, where the mind says, "But now Father will not even accept you. He will not welcome you back to satsang." You know, all this kind of thing, which is
yes,
just not true. It tries to play those very uh, very primitive sort of games. So but it just wants us to be oppressed by it alone with no support, with no escape. And I know it sounds very scary that way, but I have to say sometimes how it is that it seems to invite us very beautifully, but once we get trapped, we seem to get stuck, and it seems like there's no return.
yeah, yeah. I've been feeling something like that somehow. How can I go back to satsang? Or, but this is why I'm so, yeah. I'm so glad to be here. This
Very,
is
very good, very good.
because somehow, yes, praying and yeah, it's helping me to not to listen too much to that. I've been listening to the voice of the mind, of course, but somehow the grace and God is being here and is being, I don't know, I don't want to be saying it from a wrong place, but is I feel that somehow is guiding is guiding here and I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to. but,
How is the focused prayer time going? And if it's not
well,
going well, it's all right. We can.
no. Well, it's
It's
since I
going.
came.
It's good. Yeah.
Is going that I've been doing this job, this art exhibition.
Yes. Yes.
It was focused on me, you know, on the because it was a personal show, no? It was very big, very a
I
lot of
see.
people, a lot of money involved, the stuff, and no. Okay, but somehow, yeah, I found myself lost a little bit here and there, but somehow during the day, always I came back to prayer, and or during the night or when. So I found that prayer was always
Very good.
not always, but it kept me. It was like okay, come here again,
An
please.
anchor.
Okay, it was an anchor, yeah. Even though, and so that helped him very much. Also to give what I was having to God somehow, no?
Yes.
When I was able to do it, I did it. I don't know how to say. And now that I came back, it's yes, I found somehow more time to to listen to satsang or to stay a little bit, even though I feel that I keep being distracted.
Yes.
But yeah, somehow yeah, I
The
don't
most important question I have for you is: did Ilaria get her passport?
know. Yes, yes, yeah, and I hope that I keep, but next year we want to come, and but
Very
it
good.
like in from January to February. Let's see. This is the plan. I hope to I want to come. I would come without Ilaria, but I would love to come with her because I feel that still is very important for us to.
Very good. Very good. Very happy to hear this. You say January, February, that's very close. Very
Yes, yes,
good.
yes, yes.
Very good. Very good. Very good. All my love, all my blessing. Love you, love you.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, my love. See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Sharat.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, namaste.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Very welcome, very welcome.
There are so many things to say. Just I don't want to say. Thank you.
My love, all my blessings. Bless you, bless you. So what we should do is, of the 3 days, one of the days we can do online questions only. So we can start the Ramcharitmanas on time. Friday we'll return to that. Okay. So Friday we'll do online, so it doesn't happen that I don't get to meet them in this way. So, and the other 2 days priority can be with the audience in front of us and visitors. So that, but we start the Ramcharitmanas then 7:30 is if we start, like today we started late, no? So you have to see 7:30, 7:45 ish. Yes? Let's go to Radhesham ji.
Ram Badar.
Ram Ram.
धन्यवाद.
How is it possible that somebody who doesn't know English is there and is listening to every satsang? Okay, shall we try the new tune? You may not sing much. But you can try.